The Chitrik Academy is dedicated in loving memory of Rabbi Tzvi Hirsh Chitrik.
Welcome to Lesson 2 on how to learn Gemara. Today we are going to learn about the layout of the Gemara. When the Gemara says these letters, these 4 letters on the dash and big, it says Masnissen, which means Mishnah, which it's coming to tell us that we have finished with the previous Mishnah, and we are now going to discuss a new Mishnah from the Mishnayos. Sometimes a Mishnah can be a continuation from the previous Mishnah. Sometimes the Mishnah can mention a brand new subject which was not mentioned previously. So there's always the 2 dots, which indicates the end of the previous Gemara, the previous Mishnah. And then it will say Masnissen to teach us that we are learning a new Mishnah. Then there will be another 2 dots to say that this is the end of the Mishnah. And then it will say these 2 letters, Gimel Mem, with the dash on top, which means Gemara. Which means from here we are starting the Gemara, and we will continue all the way until we bump into a new Mishnah. Sometimes it's a few lines, sometimes it's a few pages, sometimes it's till the end of the parak. But this is what these 2 signs that the Gemara tells us what they mean. Mem, Saf, Nun, Yud means Masnissen, stands for Masnissen, which means Mishnah, and the Gimel Mem means Gemara. Now we are going to discuss a little bit about the commentaries that we see on the side of the Gemara, on the right and on the left. In general, there are 2 commentaries printed on the sides of the Gemara. Number 1 is Rashi, which it's an acronym, it's a Rosh Tevis for his name, Rav Shloime Yitzchaki. His name was Rav Shloime, and his father's name was Yitzchak, so he took upon himself the last name of Yitzchaki. Now Rashi is a very important pirush. He explains the simple meaning of the Gemara, as well on the Chumash. And it's important when most people, when they learn Gemara, they include Rashi's commentary as well when they learn it in order to help the person who's studying understand the Gemara. Rashi's letters isn't written like our letters, our simple letters that are printed in Gemara, or like our Hebrew script. They are written in different letters. For example, what this says right here says Rashi. The Resh is similar to ours. The Yud is similar to ours. However, the Shin is more similar to ancient Hebrew or ancient Aramaic. So these are most commonly called Rashi letters or Rashi text. Now we can see that in the Gemara. This is our Hebrew letters, and this is Rashi's letters. So it takes time to learn them. Like learning Hebrew, you have to learn, it's the same Hebrew letters, just different, written different. For example, this is a Shin, this is a Lamed, and this is an Aleph, Shalai. And it takes time, it has to be studied, but eventually you get the hang of it and you can understand Rashi's commentary on the Gemara, which is very important, and Rashi's commentary on the Chumash. Then on the other side of the page is Tosfos. Tosfos was written by a few people. Most of them were Rashi's grandsons. Some of them was Ri. The others are Rabbeinu Tam, which are famous. Rabbeinu Tam was his grandson Rabbi Yaakov. He had a grandson Rabbi Yitzchak, different grandchildren of Rashi. Now Tosfos sometimes argues with their grandfather Rashi, and sometimes Tosfos will comment on the Gemara, question the Gemara from a different source, from a different Gemara or a different Mishnah. Rashi is more the simple explanation of the Gemara, and Tosfos sometimes is a simple explanation, but most of the time, Tosfos is a more in-depth explanation on the Gemara. So these are the 2 basic commentaries that are printed alongside the Gemara of any standard Gemara. There are others which are sometimes added on the side, but Rashi and Tosfos are always printed alongside the Gemara. Now, which side is Rashi and which side is Tosfos? Because when a person sees the Gemara, they see two sides. How are they supposed to know whose is Rashi and whose is Tosfos? They both have the same letters. Tosfos is also printed in Rashi text and Rashi letters. So how do we know which one is which? So that we are going to learn now. The general rule is, when you have 2 pages of the Gemara, when a person opens the Gemara, the inside of the binding, so the commentary on the inside, is always Rashi's commentary. So no matter which side you're studying, if you're studying the Gemara on the left side, the commentary on the right, towards the binding, will be Rashi's commentary. And the commentary on the outside, on the left, will be Tosfos' commentary. If a person is studying the right side of the Gemara, the commentary on the right will be Tosfos, and the commentary on the left, towards the inside of the Sefer, the inside of the Gemara, towards the binding, is Rashi's commentary. So this is a basic outline on the layout of the Gemara. And this is the end of this lesson.